it's a broken culture, it's a broken society, and hip hop is hurting things. But I also want to talk to you about something I've realized. Even if Black Americans are aware and know their history, right? And you can get Black conservatives who understand the history much more, who understand, the ills of the left and what the left has done. But still, in that regard, they bring to the conservative side the same bad habits that I was hoping Black conservatives would be abandoning. And what I'm talking about, number one, is conflict resolution. Black Americans do not know how to resolve basic conflicts. Everything has to turn into a fight. I hate you forever. You got to draw lines. It's like you're this gang or that gang. And you still see it happening in politics.
Yeah, I don't. You know better not to say nothing. What? All of y'all. Anybody else? Anybody else? Y'all think we cotton pickers and monkeys too? You think that's cool? You think that's cool? You think that's cool? What? What? No. Text in the group chat talking about cotton pickers and monkeys. I don't give a who you is. Casey, what? Why the you talking about cotton pickers and monkeys? Your wife. You talking about? Exactly.
I'm really taking this all in and considering what everyone's saying. I just think that people, like he said, people can think what they want to think, but it's still our responsibility to make it an environment where other people can function and thrive. You know what I'm saying? Like that can affect the performance of other people. I don't know what they should do about if you have that group chat, it's just keeping it personal. I just don't know what to say about this situation, y'all. It's so much. Somebody else can go ahead.
Go ahead, Saint. Go ahead.
Real quick, please. And then
go ahead.
Okay, somebody in the comments, it said the perfect thing, and it was what I was thinking. Johnny K said, in that logic, if a girl twerks on a college campus and I don't like it, I should report inappropriate sexual behavior, and I don't want those people next to me or on campus. So
that's silly. You should delete that. Tell them to delete that. That was silly.
No, it's not.
We twerking at the tailgate and that offends somebody.
What if I'm Christian and I find that offensive to my religion? That's sexual harassment.
So that's where we going. That's why everybody keeps saying now at this point,
microaggression on my religion.
What door you're opening?
No, we're not. We're talking about racism, not somebody twerking that everybody do on a daily basis in a club, at a party. Period. It was never addressed that twerking was inappropriate, that you can offend someone and get in trouble. But it definitely has been reported that racism and any type of inappropriate acts towards another race or person is inappropriate to where, you can get sanctions for it. You can't get no sanctions for twerking. All right, you don't like it, leave the place. Don't look.
Part of what was mentioned about microaggressions had to do with not respecting people's religion, right? That was part of microaggression. So it's part of someone's religion is that they don't want to see nudity, they don't want to see somebody dressed a certain way, and you're dressed immodestly. Technically, you're encroaching upon their religion. That's a microaggression against their religion.
We're in America. We can wear whatever we want.
Sure, and that's pretty much what I was saying before. We in America, you can say and think what you want to feel, what you want. Everybody need to mind their own damn business. But I want to digress and ask a different questions, because I'm wondering, is this really truly about racism, or is this more about punishing white people? And the reason why I ask that is because let's reverse the roles. Let's say it was a bunch of black students at a HBCU, and let's say it was a white student who didn't fit in on campus, and they were shimmying past all the black students, and all the black students were looking at them like, what's this white girl doing at this HBCU? And what happens if when she sit down, she looks over to one of the group chat, and one of the group chat was saying, oh, this girl smell like a wet dog. White people got that white people smell. Oh yeah, she probably eat mayonnaise sandwiches for lunch. Now imagine if that's what she sees in the group chat. Will the women who are so offended in the other scenario, will they be equally as angry at the seething racism, or will they find those jokes funny because they're more culturally aligned to them? So that's my thing. I feel like we try to make this.
Sir, I said that even white people are the ones that tell the most.
Please stop interrupting me. Please stop interrupting me. We try.
Well, I thought you was wrapping it up because it was kind of done.
Yeah, I'll land soon. But we try to act like this is a genuine conversation about racism in general, when it's really more so about the racism that we prefer. Well, we don't like when white people are racist, but if it was black people making jokes on white people, we'd be cackling and laughing and everything would be cool. And if any suggested that someone who said white people eat mayonnaise sandwiches should be kicked out of school, we would find that laughable, wouldn't we? if somebody suggested that someone who, if somebody suggested that Marlon and the Wayans brothers should all their movies should be taken down because that's whiteface and we're disrespecting white people, we would laugh at that idea. So to me, it's disingenuous.
No, we're not.
It's like if you have a problem with racism, it has to be across the board. If you don't like racism, don't like it for nobody. But if you're just going to be selective and feel like, oh, this white girl should be punished, but I'm okay with making fun of white people on Twitter, then you're not being real.
Right, well, let me just let it be known that I said, and I quote, like, everybody do it, okay? I don't care who it was. I don't really care if it was white, black, Asian, Targaryen. I don't care. If somebody want to complain about something that they felt inappropriate with, yes, everybody's equally right to complain. And trust me, they do. So to make your point, I know years of experience. They're the main ones that always address when us black people say stuff like cracker or, you know what I'm saying, wetbacks and all stuff like that. Yes, all those things, people complain, even Mexicans too. So yeah, I'm completely transparent across the board. I don't care who it is.
All right, let's get Angela in there. You on mute, just so you know.
I think that the difference in context when it comes to racism is some people think as racism as like the dictionary version, but on a like more in-depth dive into racism, it's the extent to which we've gone through and how much was taken versus the impact of somebody saying cracker or wetback. It doesn't equate because of the history and the experience and the effect on the groups of people and who had power and who still doesn't, as a entirety or as a whole have the same level of power that they have. So I do understand how people could feel differently based on how you perceive or how you understand racism.
All right.
We had a whole Karen movement and we sitting here whining about a monkey on a group chat. I'm over it.
Yeah, I think honestly, as far as the younger girl, stumbling upon the racism, I mean, like Hank said, it's a slippery slope. And I feel like life is the best teacher in those circumstances because if if somebody stumbled upon my group chat at any given age, ain't no telling what you would have saw, about other groups, and not on no hate. I don't hate anybody, but please believe I find a lot of shit funny. I have a good sense of humor.
Very dark, yeah.
I have dark humor. I have a funny sense of humor that I think, but there are a bunch of people that won't find that stuff funny. You know what I'm saying? And if that was exposed to the world, ain't no telling what circumstances I may be in or any of
living under a bridge, Jay.
If you expose our group chats and our personal thoughts with our personal circle of people, so if you got to understand, you got to figure out with the young girl, you figure out what's your end game. And maybe she's too young to understand that, maybe she was just had something that she saw, felt a deep emotion about it and didn't know what to do with it, but that comes with age. At our age right now, sometimes we would come in contact with a lot of this stuff and we may know how to deal with it a lot better because we're older and we've dealt with various situations where that occurred. You know what I mean? But do I personally think how she handled it was incorrectly? I personally do think she handled it incorrectly, but that's expected because she's young, she's emotional. You know what I'm saying? This could be her first encounter with just how these people really are or how some of them feel about you. And that's not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? To find out that somebody that you share space with thinks about you so lowly. That's something to, that's a lot to take on.
Respect, Jay, but she said that she'd been dealing with it her whole life. So what is her motive now?
She did say that. You know what I mean? She did say that, which, lessened the bail that I had for her because, I went to a mixed school, like high school, but, it was a lot of racists in there. You had Albanians, you had Italians, Irish, like, so you could only imagine. And my last name is Kuhn with a K. So you can only imagine that I had to,
No, it's
and
not.
that I had to introduce my fist to some people's faces at times, but that was how I dealt with it younger and being, at a higher emotion. So
So
life is
my
gonna be the
thing, can
best
I
teacher.
ask you something personal?
Mhm.
How many of your coon jokes came from your own people though?
None. None. It was always from other,
It
it
was
was
from other
almost like
people.
it was from other races, but they were saying my name, but they were emphasizing it in a way where it's like, do you mean it as you're asking me my name, or you're calling for me, or are you saying it
Are you
because you
trying?
have,
Yeah. Are you
because you,
implying?
yeah, or you, because you have the liberty, because that's my actual name. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you could only imagine how I grew up with that name. You understand what I'm
We
saying?
had a
So
boy at my school. Last name was Cooney.
so
But
you can only imagine. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, you have to discern that. And I mean, at her age, this situation right here is going to be a learning lesson for her, because she's going to realize that this goes nowhere and there's a better way to deal with it. You understand that there are going to be people in your circle that are going to think the worst of you. You're going to have to work with people. One-on-one, you know what I mean? Group project with people that think you are less than who you are. And this is just gonna have to happen. Maybe you can, go to Chanel in HR and be like, yo, this person thinks I'm a cotton picker. I'm actually not. I'm a content creator, but they think all I am is a cotton picker. And you got to talk to Chanel. How do I handle this? There are different channels and ways to do it. And if you've been raised a certain way, hopefully you've been raised to deal with it where you're not ending up in cuffs in the goddamn Ford Explorer, getting taken to jail. If you don't, it's another lesson. You know what I'm
And Jay,
saying?
just to add to you what you just said, just to add what you said, Jay, a lot of times when people come to HR and complain about that, sometimes the first thing they say, I am not trying to get nobody fired. I just want to let you know what's going on. A lot of times the conversations start that way, or sometimes after they've told me something, I'll ask them, what is the end result you want to get out of this? And at times I don't want you to say anything. I just want to report it. So everybody's goal is not to get somebody in trouble. People just uncomfortable and they gonna run and say something. And that's just the way the nature we live in. And they have a right to say, look, I'm not comfortable. And yes, a lot
And
of people, some people, nothing happened. There's people that they wanted to go so far, and there wasn't nothing I can do. It didn't need to go that far. And yes, some people were very upset, and kept going, like her, kept going, kept trying to complain. It's not gonna go nowhere. And then I've had those conversations, like, you know what, you're about to learn that so you choose your battles. Sometimes it's not gonna go nowhere. Besides, you get more and more upset.
choose your battles is the perfect word, and with this judge, I feel like there are certain positions in this world where certain things is just not tolerated. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm out partying, if I see my pilot the night before snorting coke at a strip club and I know I got a flight in the morning, I'm reporting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to fly and my pilot is out there wilding out. Like, nah, there's certain positions, certain jobs where you can't stand for any racism or any, you know what I mean? And once it's identified, get them out of there. If I see that pilot
Pilots
snorting
taking
coke,
those
get
too.
him out of there, yo. We are not about to pull a Denzel Washington flying upside down. Like, that's not happening. A judge who's supposed to be non-biased, if we identify that she's anything other than that, get the fuck out of here. Sayonara, bitch.